Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to my weekly edition of Show Me How It's Done. This week I'm really excited because I'm going to show you two of our celebration items. And for everyone who doesn't know what celebration is, you will need to look for this beautiful little flyer from your demonstrator, and inside there are all sorts of freebies that you can get when you place an order in January and February this year. So I'm in Canada, so of course when I'm speaking, all of my terms are in Canadian equivalency. So for example, we have a lot of things that you can get for free with a $60 order or $120. If you're in the States, I know that your amounts I think are $50 and $100, and then I'm not sure anywhere else in the world. So make sure to check out with your demonstrator what your items are, but we should all have the same offerings, which is really fun. And if you're watching live, make sure to say hi. I'm very bad at encouraging you to do that, but I do have my chat open. So what we're going to play with today is the adorable Owls stamp set and one of the packs of paper called Dandy Designs. So these adorable little owls I'm going to use to show you how to make a really fun card. The fun thing is you can use any of the three owls in your project, and you can kind of just tailor them to whoever you're giving it to as well. So let's get going. If you would like to follow along, I'm going to give you the measurements as I go for this card, and then you can create it as well. Or if you're just wanting to watch, then I hope you just grab a cup of tea or coffee and put up your feet and enjoy. So here we go. We're going to start with some of our pieces of paper that we need to cut. So the first thing that you'll need always is a card base. I've used Granny Apple Green for this, and I'm cutting my piece of paper at 4 1/4 by 11. And then I've put a score mark down the middle at 5 1/2 so that my card can open up like this. Now I always like to have something to write on the inside of my card. So for this scheme, you can use either white or vanilla. It will not matter whatsoever. I went with vanilla because it's a little more muted. And this piece is going to measure 4 inches by 5 1/4. So with your double-sided tape or adhesive of your choice, obviously, you can add this to the inside of your card right now. Later on, you might decide to come back and stamp something cute and fun, maybe a second little owl hiding inside here. But I'm just going to leave that open for you guys to do whenever you'd like. So mine's just going in here, and then I always like to kind of leave it blank because when I pull it out for somebody and start writing, some people I have a big long letter that I need to kind of have as much space as I want, and some people you're just writing kind of a quick little, have a great day or hope you're doing well kind of thing, or happy birthday. And then of course I have room to stamp something. So on the front, I'm not going to attach these pieces yet, but the last two pieces that you're going to need to cut are a piece of early espresso, which is 4 by 5 1/4, and a piece of very vanilla, or if you chose to go with white, then go with that. This is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our piece of early espresso. I have a little bit of work to do to this guy to kind of make it look like the bark of a tree. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Timber 3D embossing folder, open that up, and put my paper inside. And then I'm going to run this through my cut and emboss machine. So I will bring that up on the table here. Always takes up lots of room. Okay, here we go. So I know you cannot see a lot, but we've got our timber, we've got the base plate. We're going to put that over top. And then you'll need your 3D plate. So this guy right now is gray if you buy the machine. I bought mine when it was originally released, and this plate was blue. So I haven't replaced that simply because it's the same thing and I don't need to replace something that works. All right, so we've run that one through. What you should end up with is this beautifully embossed piece of brown paper. But I need to do a little bit more with my cut and emboss machine right now because I want this little hole for my owl to poke his head out and kind of pop through. So along with our base plate, we're now bringing in that little thin #2 I lost my words. Little divider there. And then I've got one of my clear plates that's going down. I'm going to put my paper on top. And then I'm grabbing the third largest of these stylish shapes dies. So there's no exact measurement of where you need this to sit, but I kind of want it not in the middle of my page, but just up towards the top and kind of centered between the two sides. So however you're happy, this is a great position. Just keep in mind that down here is where we're going to put our letters or a sentiment of your choice. So you'll want a little bit of space, okay? Once that's all set up, grab your second plate, throw it over top, and you can run this through your machine. I like to kind of go front and back. So what you should know is this piece here with a hole in it, and this circle can be used for something in the future. It has no use for our card right now. Now you're done with your machine. So put that to the side. And we have our cute little background. What we're going to move on to next is stamping our little owl. We're not assembling this yet because we need it separate. So I've got my 3.5 by 3.5 little square. And I'm, for this one, going to use my little owl that has the bow tie. The other project here, I used the little owl with the party hat. So we're going to just see how this is fun and different. So just as long as this is somewhere in the middle of your square, you can stamp your little owl using soft suede or early espresso. You can use black if you want, but I found that the brown blends really nicely with the colors that I'm planning to use. So these colors, you can use any colors you have. It doesn't have to be the same ones that I am, but I will give you the colors that I'm using just in case you decide you want to use them too. So for his bow tie, I'm going to use Dark Poppy Parade. And of course you could do shading and all those fun techniques too if you wanted to play with the light and the dark. But sometimes with these projects, I'm more concerned with getting them kind of colored and ready to go. For his eyes, I've decided I'm doing 2 blues. So for the inside, I've got my light Tahitian Tide. And, you know, he's got beautiful blue eyes. Nice and bright. I know, definitely not realistic. Most owls don't have blue eyes, but mine does. And then I could leave this part white, but I decided I wanted to use the light balmy blue and color that in instead. Just kind of thought it tied him together a little nicer. For the beak, I'm going to use the Dark Pumpkin Pie, and you can go ahead and do his little feet with that as well. Light one would work too. And then I'm on to coloring his body. So on the owl on my left, I did end up coloring the party hat, and the green that you see is the dark parakeet party. But I think for this guy, I don't need to worry about that because I don't really have a hat or anything. So I have my browns of choice. So I just grabbed 2 that I really enjoyed. If you want, you can grab your light and dark crumb cake, but I just decided I wanted the dark crumb cake for kind of the lighter parts here. Then I'm actually using some of our natural tone blends, and I've got the medium deep right here. So dark crumb cake is actually what I'm using for the lighter part of the little owl. So I've got his little tummy, and then I'm going to do kind of the face around his eyes. But with those natural tones and these browns, whatever you have is just fine. There's even some owls that are you know, kind of white with a little bit of orange or brown on them. You could do gray owls. So whatever you own, just fine. But I wanted the brown to kind of match the trees. Thought that looked nice. Should use the other end. It'll go faster, but that's okay. Coloring kind of at an awkward angle to myself, so this is easier. See all the edges. Oh, all right. And then for his ears, I'm using medium deep. Top of his head here. We'll go with this same color for his wings, the rest of his body too. Here we go. All right. So now we are ready to start assembling. So you'll see quickly why we didn't attach these right away. That's because I want my little owl to feel like he's kind of in the little house in the tree. I didn't want him on the same level. So what we're going to do is around the edge of this vanilla sheet, you're going to put dimensionals all the way around this perimeter. Make sure you're not stingy because you want him to have a nice full kind of frame around him. You don't want it dipping anywhere. So all around the edge, don't put any of these right close to your little owl. When you've got all of those on, you can take off the backings. And what we're going to do, because of course we didn't want to have to sit here and measure where our owl would go, you're just going to figure out, okay, where is my owl centralized on or in this hole? It doesn't have to be the same for every person. And if you look on the back of my card, this is crooked. So if I was to have put that in and then stamped and then colored, I ran the risk of something going wrong. But this way, my owl is fully exactly where I want him to be. And this one, you'll end up cutting off either a little bit of the feet or a little bit of the hat. So don't feel bad about that. But this guy does fit fully in here. So now to put this on the front of the card, I want to match my brown layer to the vanilla so that they're all kind of on the same level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and put dimensionals on the brown parts of this card that you can see. You're not putting anything more on that vanilla square. You're just coming in and putting brown or dimensionals on all of the brown. Okay. Go ahead and take these backings off. Oh, thanks, Kathy. I'm glad that you like this one. It's just so cute. I had to play with them. Okay, once all your dimensionals are on the brown part, you can bring this over and put it on the front of your card. Like so. Then you get to do a little bit of fun die cutting. So I did the one, and I'm going to show you the letters in a minute. So I wanted to make this look like a tree, and I was kind of a little stumped of like, well, like I swear we have a set that could help me. And in our annual catalog, we have this bundle called Willow Tree. This die here makes a gorgeous canopy. So what I did was I went to the paper package that is in our Celebration offering. It's called Dandy Designs, and this paper is massive. There's 48 sheets in this package, all different fun designs, and this is free with a $120 purchase. So the packages that are free with 60, they have 12 sheets. This is free with a 120 and it has 48. So I did this card for a class, which is why this is the only little scrap of this green paper that I have left. I wanted to show it to you in its full pattern, but that's all I have left. So I used my little willow tree die and I cut out this little branch here. To attach that to my card, I just need glue. And I'm not going to put glue all over it. I actually want these bottom branches to kind of hang loose so they look very natural. All I want to do is just come over and put a little dot of glue in these top parts. Any large leaf is a good spot for you to just put a little dot of glue all the way across this piece. And then this can get stuck to the top of your space. Now it's up to you. You can either have, you know, the branches kind of fully coming down. I like to just pop them up a little, and I'm just going to bring my scissors to cut off some of those extra pieces on the top. But let that guy dry before you bother trying to cut anything off of it, okay? It will cover a little bit of your owl, but again, that's totally fine because we want him to kind of feel like he's at home. So I'm going to put this aside for a minute, and I am sorry, I told you were done with your cut and emboss machine, but you're not, because we need letters. So these little letters, instead of saying like, woohoo, it's your birthday, I figured I'd say like, woohoot, it's your birthday. So I'm using the new a la mode little letters. These guys are really, really fun because you can print a very large word and it will fit on a card. I could fit the whole word birthday, for instance, as opposed to some of our large letters where you'd have to shorten it to like B-Day or something like that. So these guys are great. The only challenge with them, I will advise you, is getting them onto a card. You can't put dimensionals on them because they're so skinny, and, you know, seal or tape, the same idea. So your options are either to use the liquid glue, or my two favorite options are some of our adhesive options. So these are adhesive sheets. They come in packages of 6 by 12. And basically what they do is they turn your paper into a sticker. So you take the backing off of one side of them and you attach it to the back of a piece of cardstock. So this was my cardstock. I've put the adhesive sheet on the back. And now when I use my dies and cut through this, it's going to basically be a sticker. And as soon as I take that backing off, this is all sticky for me to use. If you want something that is popped out at you, then your option would be these foam adhesive sheets. They're basically like a dimensional, but on an entire square. They're about 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So all you would do is you would bring your piece of cardstock, you'd take 1/2 of this off, put cardstock over top, and then the same idea would be to put your dies. Where did I throw my dies? Need you, little dies. It's hiding. There we go. You'd put your dies over top, run them through, and it would be popped up like a dimensional for you. So I'm not doing that on this one because I would like to put this little banner in place. I've chosen instead to use the adhesive sheets, and I've mounted those onto our Sweet Sorbet cardstock. So I need all of my different letters, and might need to just run a couple of these through because I need 2 W's. Oh, my W's downstairs, isn't it? Oh well, we'll use an M just for now. Okay, here we go. So we've got our cut and emboss machine, got my nice scrap of paper. Yours might look a little easier or better. And you're just going to put all your dies here. Roll this through. One more O, so I'm going to take those out. Grab myself one more O. If your piece gets stuck in here, there's a little hole in the top. You can just poke with your scissors or take your pick tool. And run that through as well. Okay. Now you should be done after you cut out this little banner. I've already done that. This is from the Stylish Shapes set. It's the smallest banner, and you'll want to cut that out as well. Okay. Now all you need to do is attach your little stickers to your project, and you are happy as a clam. So if you're kind of uncomfortable with the spacing of these letters, I do suggest maybe just setting them in place. Don't take your backing off yet, and just kind of see how much space you have to work with. And then you can always come from there. So this one was an M. I turned it into the W. If you use the actual W, it looks a lot nicer. I just happen to have it downstairs. So pulling these little guys off. If you have trouble, take your pick tool or some scissors. They will stick right on your project like so. And the nice thing about the dies is you could basically say anything that you wanted. You can just say who, or you could write birthday or anything. So it doesn't have to be what I've put on here. And I decided I wanted to use one of the sentiments from the stamp. So it says, "It's your day." And the nice thing with this is it could be for graduation, it could be for birthday, it can be for anything. Basically just celebrating somebody's special day. I'm using Tahitian Tide for my ink. If you wanted to blend it in a little bit more, then maybe you're going to go with Granny Apple Green or even early Espresso, but you kind of want it to stand out from your little letters. So I've popped this little guy up on some dimensionals. I'm not going to put it underneath my letters. I'm actually going to cover some of these letters up like this. But I was doing a class with this card, and it was my mother-in-law actually. She was like, "Oh, these would look so cute with googly eyes." So in that case, if you want to turn your two O's into googly eyes, then you can just move your little banner down below or above. It doesn't matter, but it would look really cute that way. I just didn't have any googly eyes to practice that idea with. But hope you guys enjoy that card. Oh yes, we needed to snip. So like I mentioned, these kind of hung over. So all you do is just come across a pair of snips. And it's easy to get in there because these are up on dimensionals. So easy peasy. There you go. That's a little nicer. Your little owl kind of hiding in the tree, and he looks really fun. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this card. Keep in mind that the freebies I mentioned, the Adorable Owls and the Dandy Designs paper, they're available till February 28th, 2023, while supplies last. So I can't guarantee they will last right till then. So if you need anything, please reach out. I'd love to help you if you're in Canada. I can send you catalogs or anything you need. And then if you are not in Canada, make sure to talk to your demonstrator and figure out what you'd need to spend to earn these guys for free, because I don't have all of that. But I will see you guys next Tuesday for another weekly edition of Show Me How It's Done. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. It would really help me out. We'll see you guys later. Bye.